Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course stream for fun. Today is a little bit of a different one. This is a game that I actually streamed before I started YouTube, so it's not anywhere on the channel. And when I have some time or I have some things that are kind of on my mind, I'll play some games and maybe I'll share it with you guys too, and this is going to be one of those times. But I'll also stream a past game that I didn't have on the channel. Or that I did on the channel earlier, like like last year, earlier this year. But yeah, something I want to talk about ultimately is just how things are going in our world. I do have the chat up too, if you're interested. Oh yeah, and let me get in a party. One moment. There we go. So yeah, I call this one HardSpace Mind Breaker, because that's kind of what's happening in our economy right now, and in the lives for a lot of folks. And it's just getting, we'll disable it, because I'll be talking. But it's getting incredibly frustrating and tough for a lot of folks. And I'm going to share some stories here in a little bit. I'm not going to name names or anything. Pretty much none of these people you're going to know. Maybe a few of you will, but yeah, there are hard times for everybody right now. And there was just some stats that I'm learning this week, just before Thanksgiving. I mean, we have earning reports coming out. We have other things coming out too from financial institutions and from banks that are giving now $500,000 a day. Good go. Giving estimates on what they're thinking or what's happening, and there's just stats too about the economy. And it's just kind of getting crazy. So let me get started here. Yeah, I want to keep working on this ship. Plenty of salvage left. So yeah, if you've never played this game's actually pretty fun. It's more relaxing, but you still have to kind of think it still is challenging in its own way. That's horrible. Wrong button, like normal. He almost killed her. Wow. What a D word. But yeah, this game's pretty fun. It is pretty relaxing. You just get a ship in here. You work on dismantling it, and you have different types of vision for different welds or what materials are made out of. They go in the corresponding furnaces or areas to get credits. You can kill yourself if you're not careful. But yeah, as you can see, you can look at different systems of the ship. You can see what's valuable, what's live or active, all in real time. And it's pretty cool. And your stuff wears out too. But yeah, you got $1 trillion. The backstory is you got $1 trillion in debt, and from your dad, and you're trying to pay it off. And you're doing that by salvaging ships, working for Lynx, this company that salvages ships. And you're not necessarily alone out here either. You can't travel anywhere else. This is it. This is just salvaging ships. But look at all of those other stations out there. There's a ton of them. And as you play, there's more and more and more stations that show up. So yeah, this game is actually pretty fun. It is pretty cheap too. This game did have some development issues, but overall it runs pretty well. It's pretty well done. So let's get to some of the stories. Man, if some of you guys are struggling or you feel you're kind of alone out there, maybe you want to hang out and stick around a little. Oop, a little too hard. Radio malfunction. Oh, good. But, yeah, maybe I'm going to kill myself from doing this. Yeah, maybe you want to stick around, because, yeah, there are people that are really having quite a tough time. Hopefully I can do this. Wrong button again. Hold on. There we go. That was a big one. Yeah, if that goes off, you're all dead. So anyway, let me go ahead and get started. So we have some friends that we keep up in different states, and one of the things that's been really tough to hear is the ones that are losing their jobs or having their hours cut back. So we know one family, small family, and younger, and just having a tough time. You know, there's kind of not as many opportunities where they live. It's quieter out there, and but yeah, they definitely are having some struggles. There are some health issues too, like physical health and probably some mental health with just what's been going on. And but yeah, the primary person for making money for the household, they ended up losing their job. And they're working toward, I think it's been at least 2 full months now, and they're working toward 3 with being unemployed. And they've tried to getting different jobs, they've applied to different places, and they can't find anything. Now, this is someone in their 30s, okay, and they've done some good jobs, they have some experience, and so they should be able to find a job fairly easily, and they've applied to quite a few. Probably, I think they're getting close to 5 or 6 now. I think they do have unemployment for the time being, but again, unemployment doesn't last forever. And yeah, he still can't find a job. He hasn't heard anything back from anybody. And he's just really having a tough time. And they're at a point now where they're trying to sell stuff. And making things at home to sell. Because they're literally that desperate for money, folks. They're just trying to keep their head above water until he can find a job. You know, and the scary thing is, what if he can't? I'm sure that's something they probably don't chat a lot about, but I would be flipping horrified. I'd be terrified. They do have a little one at home. And, yeah, man. Not being able to provide, that honestly scares me to death. I mean, at some point, it would not matter what the job is. It's like, look, I need money coming in so that I can provide for my family, hopefully with the life that I would like to give them. And that's really what my goal has been for some time. So yeah, they are really, really struggling. Someone else I know is that they've applied. They had tried applying for different jobs for over 1.5 years, and they finally just got a new job. Gosh dang it. I'm gonna burn all of these tethers. But yeah, they finally just got a job. And, you know, it probably pays a little better. The management is better. That's what he was struggling with the most at his past job. Yeah, he applied to over 20 plus jobs. And he finally got hired somewhere. So it's not easy to get a job right now, folks. That's certainly one lesson from all this. It's not easy to get a job. Something else, too, is there's several people within our family and within our friend group right now that are struggling with mental stress and mental health. They're having anxiety attacks. They're having, like you could say, mental breakdowns. The psychological stress is having effects on their body, to where they're getting sick all the time, or they're not getting any sleep. That's yours truly right now. I'm really not sleeping that much. But yeah, we got a couple of friends that just are not doing very good mentally, and everyone else I talk to, they say they're doing okay. So they're really not. They're really just hanging on. And maybe you're there too, and hey, that's honestly okay. But also, you know, I'm telling you these stories to not depress you or to disappoint you or whatever, but to let you know that you're not alone. You know, and maybe I should share some of my own story. Some of my own story with what's going on is we got to a point where we had $5 in our bank account because there was a banking error and stuff wasn't pulled out of the account when it should have been. And then when I looked in there, I was like, "Oh, well, I got some extra money. That's great! Yay! Let's go on a trip." So we went to we ended up going to the zoo, and then I later learned, and we spent some extra money on food too. And we also bought like a deep freezer, and then suddenly I was at the store that at a Winco that just accepts a debit card, and they were like, "Oh, your card declined." I was like, "What? Are you kidding?" And that's not the first time that's happened this year. It did happen one other time. Because, man, money has been tight, folks. And I was like, I was just trying to buy something. I came off of a night shift. I was buying something cheap, a sandwich, and a little thing of, 12-ounce soda, just to have something to eat before going to bed. And yeah, I was declined. So I went to the bank, and yeah, $5.44. You know, I'm never going to forget that number and what it was related to, because that's the lowest I've ever had in my account. And also, like, knowing that money was tight. I mean, that was scary, folks. I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, I should have $200 in there. I literally get paid in, a little less than a week. Like, I should be fine. But yeah, it was gone. And so I did find out there was a banking error in Japan that screwed with my bank some, and so stuff wasn't able to happen or get done. Whatever. But, like, man, that was stressful. So then I, it wasn't fun telling my wife. It was embarrassing because it was my error. But, when it's our fault, folks, we should always own up to it. And, because, we don't make the situation better when we hide stuff. So, yeah, I told my wife, we made some adjustments. We basically didn't buy anything for several days unless it was absolutely necessary. And then, yeah, we made it. We made it. We got money now. We've actually been putting a little bit of money away every paycheck just to have available, just to kind of bolster up our savings. Because, yeah, we don't have a lot. We really don't have a lot. We got like a few $100, and that's it. And that's our savings right now. And we're being careful, and we're watching what we spend. We're even watching more than we used to. Yeah, money is very tight, and it's stressful. It's very stressful. I would say that's probably the least of my stress right now. But yeah, that's definitely one of them. So yeah, if you are not alone, folks. You know, and maybe, I'm not saying share on the channel or whatever, but maybe too, just share with somebody. Someone you can invite in, a friend, a family member, your parents, a cousin, somebody, okay? Do not do this alone. Please don't. Because the next story I'm going to share is probably not for everyone to hear. But this did happen about 3 weeks ago. Maybe a month ago. And it's insanely depressing. But this deeply affected one of my friends. He's having a tough time. But he is doing okay. I should say he will be okay. But I'm keeping closer tabs on him now. But one of his neighbors that he's known for, years, he found him in the garage, and he had hung himself. And he took down the body and called the police, and dealt with that. And then immediately went on vacation that he had planned already with his family. And then he said when he came back, he was not okay. He said he started experiencing these crazy panic attacks. This just unreal amount of stress. Just the amount of stress that deeply affects your body. For some of you, you probably know what I'm talking about. And he is doing better. He's taking some stuff. He's talked to some people just to kind of share the load, which is so important to do, folks. Please, don't do what his neighbor did. It doesn't help anything. But yeah, that's another story where it's just like, gosh. I mean, it's just brutal, folks. It's just brutal. And ultimately, we're all trying to figure out what to do, how to do it. Yeah, we aren't alone, folks. You aren't alone. I'm not either. But talk to people, okay? Don't just ignore it and think it's going to get better. It's really not. Life never works that way. Sweet. Went in there. But yeah, life never works that way. It never gets better if you just shove the issues in the corner. It never works that way. Believe me, I've tried. Yeah, I want you guys to really think about what you can do to help yourself, how you can plan things a little bit, and then too, be sure to check on people, okay? Because man, there's a lot of people struggling out there, and at least in American culture, and I know some cultures too in Europe, is that there's really not a lot of conversation that happens between, hey, I need help, okay? I'm struggling with something. Because there's kind of, especially for men, you women have it a hell of a lot easier. Let me tell you, you don't want to be a man, even though some of you think you do. But yeah, for most of you are men on this channel, but folks, please don't go it alone. Even if you think you're doing okay, just have somebody that you just catch up with every couple of months, and you both just see how you guys are doing, how each other are doing, right? Because I don't need to have any more people that I know or hear about more people dying this year. There's been enough. There's been a lot, actually. And, I mean, I've known people that have died from drugs this year, accidents, committing to sue, health was in decline and they just didn't care. Yeah, things are not good, folks. Things, people are not doing well. And if you're not, get some help. Professional help is expensive. Prescriptions are expensive. Going to the doctor is expensive. I know. I really know. But some things that can help you. If you're dealing with depression or stress or anxiety or any of this stuff, okay? One thing that's actually going to help, that's kind of like a duh moment, but none of us really do it, is sleep. Have a normal schedule for sleeping. Make it more of a priority than what you've already been doing. If you have trouble sleeping, like most of us men do, then is that going to make it? It did. Good deal. If you're having trouble sleeping, then something you can take that isn't going to screw with your melatonin levels is that you can actually take powdered magnesium, or you can take it in a tablet form too. That's okay. But you can take magnesium and, put it in your coffee, your tea, doesn't matter. Or if it's in a tablet form, just take it like a normal pill. And take that about an hour before bed. And you want about 200, probably somewhere between 100 or 250 milligrams, depending. But, your body needs magnesium to begin with. And most of us are deficient in just about everything because of our diets and the food that we have available to us. But yeah, magnesium is going to help you sleep. And you do need to take it kind of consistently. Most vitamins and herbs and stuff, you need to actually take for a few days for them to actually start having an effect. But that's something you can do. Make sure you're sleeping, okay? And if you need help, start taking some magnesium on a regular basis. Something else you can do is, again, what we've already talked about. Just have someone to talk with. Someone to vent. Share what you're comfortable with, of course. But sometimes it's worth sharing what's going on. Because stuff is incredibly stressful for everybody. And to not do nothing is a really foolish idea. Because, regardless of what happens to you or how you feel you're, quote, getting out of something, you're leaving people behind. There's family, there's friends, maybe your immediate family, maybe your wife and kids, maybe your parents. I mean, in our culture, we also don't say I love you a lot, right? But it is there. And maybe you should. Maybe you should say that more often. But yeah, make sure you're talking to people. If you're really struggling, just talk to folks. Because, a good friend for an hour is really beneficial. And, maybe some of you are already doing this like I am, and you got multiple people that you're dealing with. Make sure you're also taking time for yourself. And making sure that you're also taking care of your responsibilities and you're not stretching yourself too far. Because you also want to make sure that you're healthy. And that you can manage the stress. Right now, I probably have about 7 or so, or 8 different people that I'm keeping up with on a monthly basis. And, that comes with its own stress and exhaustion. But yeah, you don't want to overburden yourself. Don't think you can do as many as someone else can. You got to start with where you're at. But we should be there for each other, folks. We need psychologists because we don't have friendships. We don't have relationships that really matter. So we got to talk to some professional that we pay for just for them to help us figure out really what we should be doing and understanding in the first place. Uh-oh. My grapple's going down. Using it too much. Something else too you can do is just make sure you're doing something fun. Especially once a week. Really dedicate time. Something I find too, besides just having fun, is making sure you have time for yourself to just think about the day and take time to process what's happening. Sometimes that's part of the problem. You're not taking time to process stuff. The other aspect is that maybe sometimes you're thinking too much about what you wish was different. And so you're screwing yourself because there is nothing good that you're thinking about. It's just bad news all the time. And you gotta quit doing that. And you think, well, okay, Tread, what else do I think about? Anything. If you have nothing good to think about, stay busy. And a great way to do that is just keep making money. Just keep grinding. And you don't have to, grind money either. Officially with a job, you can have a side gig, folks. And it helps make some money too. But yeah, make sure you're staying busy if you got a whole bunch of thoughts that are just getting in the way. That should make it, I would think. Perfect. Let's see, what else? Yeah, sleep is a big one. Have relationships that are important. If you don't have any, okay, it's okay to be uncomfortable to get those relationships. And two, I've found just being honest. Just be like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm looking for. If that's not your thing, hey, that's okay. Bye. I'll focus somewhere else. How about be genuine, folks? Have you ever thought about that one? Have you ever thought about how keeping up this facade, showing that you got it all put together or whatever, is really just kind of a joke? Like, you know what I mean? And how even that can depress you and just wear you down. Please revisit your training. Oops. I don't think they liked that very much. I did get my rod, though. That really wasn't worth it. But yeah, think about it. If you're faking it all the time, if you really are just trying to present something that isn't real, well then it takes energy to keep that up. Because one, you're not being yourself. Two, you have to constantly think about it. And then three, when you're finally not doing it anymore, or when you've been doing it, it also sucks up your time too. And it can change how you dress, it can change how you act, it can... Excuse me. It can change everything about you. But then again, there's really nothing to hold on to. Because you don't even know who... Maybe some of you have been doing it long enough, you don't even know who you are. Excuse me. And maybe too, yeah, if you don't know who you are, it's really hard to It's really hard to feel like you're worth something, that you have a purpose. Because again, everything you've been doing is for everybody else. It's not for you. It's for everyone else. And that in and of itself is destructive. I mean, you can do things for other people. You can even sacrifice yourself for a while. But if your whole life is to make other people happy, or to get in with a certain crowd, or to make as many friends as you can, but there's not really a good amount of quality there, folks, you're doing it wrong. I'll just tell you that you're screwing up your life. You're mucking it up. Because, yeah, you're not genuine. And everybody knows it. You're not fooling anybody. You're maybe fooling a few people. But the people that could really be amazing relationships, you don't have that with them. Because, again, you're not genuine. They're not going to waste a lot of their time. And having a facade is a waste of time, folks. It really is. And you gotta quit doing that. The whole popularity contest, God, I hated school. But yeah, the whole popularity contest thing, it's a total joke by the time you get out. Nobody cares. All people really care about is, hey, how are you screwing them? And how are you a benefit to them? And that's really how you make friends, folks. If you're screwing people, guess what? They're not going to want to be around. They're not going to like you. All that stuff. And if you're a benefit to people, I mean, they're going to want to hang around you all the time. And two, make sure you don't stretch yourself too thin. Sometimes you can have too many people needing your time, wanting your time, and sometimes, I mean, I gotta say no. On my word, sometimes I gotta say no. So yeah, try some of those, folks. If you're feeling down about life, if you feel like you're just, what am I here for? What am I doing? Maybe work on some of those. Yeah, sleep is a big one. You know, really try for like the next month, the next 30 days, to actually figure out a schedule, commit to it, prioritize it, focus on it, and focus on sleep. And sometimes it just takes getting the screen out of your face, okay? Because there's a psychological effect and also an autonomic response to your body with having light present to your eyes. And you're screwing up your melatonin production. And you're still tired, like your body still needs rest. It'll let you know that. But again, if you're not creating an environment that's going to help you sleep, or help your body to rest and relax, I mean, sleep is not instantaneous unless you're exhausted. If you're exhausted, yeah, it literally takes a couple of minutes or less and you're done. But two, if you got too much to think about, or if there's, you know, mental stimulation or input from somewhere, I mean, God, you gotta get rid of that stuff, folks. Oh, that's for the furnace. It's done. It's broken. I think I'm leaving a trail. That's not good. But yeah, please, wherever you're at, take time to help people, make those relationships, and also make sure you're taking care of yourself. Because I don't need to know about anyone else. I don't need to hear about anybody else dying. I don't need to hear about anybody else you know, that their life is just getting worse, that they didn't have a plan, they didn't anticipate. Come on, folks. Your life is valuable, and it takes time to make it right. It takes time to prepare to make your life better. It's not in weeks or months or even 12 months or a year, however you want to term it. It takes years to put your life together. And it takes years to be able to change it too. It doesn't happen overnight. And there is no shortcut. All of that BS on YouTube and TikTok, it's just a bunch of trash, folks. It it really is. There is no shortcut. Because yeah, easy come, easy go. And if you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to build the foundation to continue to build more aspects of your life on, man, that is going to be so beneficial long term. But again, it's long term. It's years. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but that's the truth. I've had so many friends, even ones that are in their 40s at this point, that have tried taking those shortcuts, trying to find an easy way, and good gall, if they had have just stuck with stuff, held it out for the long term, made the effort, continued to learn, and improve on themselves as a person, as a leader, as a cultivator, a grower, a builder. I mean, if they just had worked on stuff instead of burning their time trying to find shortcuts, man, they'd be so much further ahead right now. I can't even tell you. It's just unbelievable how much time they've wasted, how much energy they've wasted. I mean, my gosh, folks. And it's and too, yeah, it's just depressing. It's just depressing because it's like people don't know how to put their life together. I got another guy that's local that we've been trying to match up, but he's got a job, I got a job. It's been busy. But yeah, he just kind of feels like his life is just kind of meh, and it's just not really doing much. And a lot of us probably feel like that, don't we? A lot of us probably do. I know I did for years of my life. And I was like, man, I want to quit doing this. This sucks. Video games are fun, but they're not satisfying. Cars are great. Or it's even cool to be able to build and make stuff or repair things. Whatever it is. But again, it's not satisfying. It's not satisfying enough long term. For some people, it's money. For some people, it's other stuff. And some people can live their life that way, but for most people, eventually they get to a point where they're in their 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s or even 60s, and they're like, wow, I wasted a ton of freaking time. That is disgusting. Yeah, don't be those people. Please. Start changing your life today. Maybe too, like, I went on a hike with a buddy of mine, and I wish I could have seen it, and I'll go back someday, whether with him or someone else, and I will re-hike that trail. But I couldn't even make it. It was kind of a moderate trail, and I couldn't even make it all the way there. Like, I was so disappointed in myself. And, yeah, that was so incredibly frustrating. Oh, my fuel's low. Gonna need some more. So yeah, what am I doing about it? I'm changing something. I don't have a regular schedule. But like when I have time, I'm doing light workouts to get my body started. I'm doing them at work. In between the work, even if it's just for 30 seconds or for a couple minutes. And then I'm also doing it at home. I've done them in between matches of video games, or I do it first thing I wake up, or just before I go to bed. And again, it's not long term. It's not like this is super and stuff. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing this morning? But yeah, folks, it's so important to get started. Truly. He's probably been there a while, huh? He probably was. That's all right. Yeah, I really have a tough time looking at the chat, folks. I just don't multitask. Can't do it. I'm not built that way. I have gotten better, but boy, the progress is so slow. So yeah, whatever it is. Working on an education, working on a degree that can actually be useful, working on a skill, improving your health, being able to just say no to making that purchase. There's nobody that has a bunch of excess money right now. There's not a single person. We've also seen one of the most rapid declines in America of people becoming un-millionaires. Isn't that crazy? It's kind of shocking. But yeah, that's what's happening. And it's kind of backwards, but yeah, just say no to that coffee, that energy drink, the sale. You know, I always love it too when my wife comes in and says, "Oh, look how much money I saved." And I'll be like, "How much did you spend?" And she's getting better. She's starting to know actually how much she spent on a very regular basis, even with just her fun money. It's a good thing to be aware of, folks. So she'll tell me, you know, what she spent, and I'll be like, "So you didn't save anything?" I mean, if you have to buy something anyway, like we have to buy food, right? We have to buy gas. Well, I guess technically you don't even have to buy gas. You could ride your bike. But we need some form of transportation. But yeah, the idea to get her to realize is that, yeah, when you spend money, you're not saving money. And the sale is a marketing trick. The discount is a marketing trick to get you to release your money. That's all it is. It's not anything else. They're not doing you a favor, okay? And 90% of the stuff that we buy, we don't need anyway. I mean, the whole thing, yeah, it's rigged to manipulate you, folks. That's what marketing is. Manipulation. And I really hate being manipulated. So I've learned some of these marketing tricks. I've learned of what to look out for. And two, I've spent over a decade just learning to say no. I'm not here to make people happy, folks. I'm here to live my life, to have a quality life. I'm here to provide for my family. I'm here to not wrong people. But being a yes man or yes woman to everybody, you're not accomplishing those goals. And it's not your job to make people happy. It's your job to help them. It's your job to love them. And happiness is a bonus. But like, I really pissed off my wife a couple weeks ago. And you know, we have different chores in the house that we do and stuff. And so she was like, "Hey, I really want to go to this. Can I just do it tomorrow?" I was like, "Okay. Yeah, sure, go ahead." Well, tomorrow came. And tomorrow was busy and crazy. And it was like 9 o'clock, and she was tired. She's like, I'm going to go to bed. And I said, no, you're not. I was like, you still have that chore to do. But I'm tired. I said, I don't care. You go do it. You said you were going to do it. I gave you a break yesterday. And, but yeah, you said you were going to do this. That's making a promise. When you say you're going to do something, you're wanting people to trust your word. And when you don't follow through, you're breaking that trust, folks. You're breaking that promise. And yeah, your word, your reputation is everything. If you don't have that, you have nothing. And I told my wife, I said, you know, it doesn't matter if it's hard or if you're tired, but I said, if you say you're going to do something, you better do it. And not just for me, because I'm your husband, but for everybody. You say you're going to do something, you better do it. You better have that follow through. And I'm tempted with that too, folks. Oh, I can, give an excuse, or I can tell them I'm tired, or that I'm too busy, or whatever. But again, your word is everything. And if you want people to trust you, you better genuinely say what you mean. Otherwise, people aren't going to trust you. And if you do it enough, people won't trust you ever. Like, they will just write you off for the rest of your life. And there will be no way to rebuild that. So our lives are the products of how we live, folks. It's not rocket science. It's not a secret. And yeah, was my wife pissed? Yeah, she was. And there was a little bit of, it felt like there was a little bit of vengeance too, because I made her do that later that night. But honestly, she learned something. Because guess what? That hasn't been an issue for 2 weeks now. She's had time to think about it. And what she says now is, when she says she's going to do something, and even when I've heard her talk to other people, she'll say, and I will do it. Maybe she's thinking that, or had some memories of some past experiences where she promised something and she didn't do it. And we all do that, folks, but we got to quit doing that. We got to quit doing that. My own example, I told my mom that I was going to come by and put in some inserts of insulation, and I haven't done that yet. And so I was thinking, definitely this weekend, because I need to get that done. But I told her I was going to do it, and I need to do it. And in a timely fashion, and I feel like it's already been too long. She's given me some grace. She knows I'm busy. She knows I have kids, and I work more than full-time every week. Sometimes super overtime. Sometimes I really work a lot, folks. But yeah, it's important to hold to your word. And if you struggle with that, practice. And to whatever you struggle with as an individual, or in your marriage, or your relationship, or whatever, or even your spiritual life, if there is something you don't like about yourself, take the time to practice improving yourself. And it's practice, folks. It's not like a switch. That's a joke too. For some things, maybe certain types of people, but generally speaking, you have to go through the pain you don't want to go through in order to practice getting good or better at something. That's just what it takes. And I feel like so many people today don't take the time to practice. They just think they can magically do it someday. Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. So hopefully this has given you guys some thought. You know, take time to invest in relationships and invest in yourselves. Because, yeah, it's so important to do that. I think this thing's about empty. I think I'll see if I can empty this thing out, and then I'll get this whole thing in the furnace. Ooh. Something happened outside. I think it's alright, though. Yeah, then after this thing, I gotta get the freaking engines in there. Yeah, I think this is all furnace. Alrighty. Well. Actually, we'll go this way. Ooh. Let's ship that on its way. Bye-bye. Okay. Yeah, I want to make sure I got everything off of this. It's pretty bare to me. Okay. So let's get this started. Man, I gotta fix my thrusters big time. Is that gonna pull it? Oh gosh. Very slowly. Very slowly, yes. Yeah, even talking about this type of stuff this morning, you know, it recalls some things to my mind of things that I need to continue to practice, of things that I need to continue to work on, things that I need to accomplish that I said I would, to reach out to a few more people just to see how they're doing. Because life is getting brutal, folks. And maybe it's not for you, and I really hope it's not. But yeah, for a lot of us, holy smokes. Y'all, that doesn't even want to go in. I can't even move that. Frick yeah. Bye-bye. Now, this game's pretty fun. Oh, frick, I had a door in there. 2 doors, 3 doors. It's only 3,000 so far. It's a lot of good material. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. Every once in a while, I'll have one of these videos, too. I used to do these quite often, where I'd just kind of chat about what's on my mind. Or even talk about a particular piece of advice. I won't do these as often, but yeah, this is kind of how I started my channel. And it's kind of fun to reminisce about that, where the channel's been and where it's going. I will have an update on the channel, just the progress of being a YouTuber, streamer person. I will do a video on that for those that are interested. We will have... Oh, there's a couple of satellites in the corner. That's neat. We will... Or maybe those are ships. Anyway, we will also have a kind of recap of 2023. At the beginning of every year, we'll kind of have a prediction of where I think the gaming industry is headed in some bigger companies. Or some things to kind of look for throughout the year. Or anticipate. Toward the end, I'll have kind of a recap of what happened and go over some of those predictions on how accurate or inaccurate they were. At least the ones I can remember. So I'm hoping to include Lion on those. And because I think that would be really fun to actually have kind of a couple of us that love gaming as a hobby, just like some of you guys. And just talk about what's going on and just not just helping keep people aware, but also just having an open forum on our gaming industry and our hobby and the things we like and don't like about it. And certainly some of the things that need to change for the health of it long term. So folks, hang in there. Please think about what I've said. You can always follow me at Twitch and Don't Tread on Me, and also at Gaming Garbage 22 over on YouTube. That's where I put most of my time, and I archive everything there. And oh yeah, don't forget Off the Cuff is up. You can take a look at that if you'd like. Thank you too for voting. And then also the next set of numbers is up to be voted on, so please go ahead and vote for that. Also, I did a Black Friday video encompassing kind of the better quality and best deals of certain stuff like consoles, controllers, games, TVs. Oh, I didn't even look at HDMI cables. Well, you want to at least a 2.1, and I think they make a 2.4 out there. Yeah, you definitely want to be able to have a good HDMI cable too. So, yeah, go ahead and take a look at Black Friday video that's out there for you. And yeah, that's all I got for you for now. So hey, take care. I'll see you on the next one.